Hello, and welcome to Bookish Sisters Podcast. I'm Aly.
And I'm Jaime, and we are two sisters who love talking about books.
Please make sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps us out, and it helps keep you in the loop with all things Bookish Sisters Podcast.
The links are in our bio.
Today we thought we would talk about some of our favorite romance books with a small town setting that we haven't really covered before.
Mm-hmm.
And I've read a lot of really good ones lately.
Yeah, I feel like small town setting is one of my favorites when it comes to romances.
I feel like it's pretty... I feel the same. So let's start our talk today with, like, a small town this or that.
Okay.
So, would you prefer, like, a Friday night football or a town parade?
I think town parade. I've never actually been to a football game.
I haven't either, to be honest.
And I'm not a huge fan of football. Like, I've never watched it, even on TV. Even for Super Bowl, I don't watch it.
I don't either, but I do like reading about it for some reason, like in a romance.
Yeah, like sports romance, yeah.
Which is why it took me so long to even try one, because I was like, I'm not going to like that. I don't even like sports. I don't know why it's okay in the book.
I don't know. But, like, there's something special about, like, the small town parade.
Because we grew up going to them for, like, homecoming and different things.
Yeah. I do miss how ours no longer, throws candy or anything.
It doesn't. See, it's been so long
since
I've gone to one.
I think someone got hit in the face with
candy
or something.
Grief! Oh, good grief.
Like, I don't know why, but I'm assuming someone got hit in the face with candy and it got banned.
Oh, goodness.
So would you rather everyone knows your business or have a close-knit support system?
A close-knit support system.
Yeah, same.
I don't want everyone knowing all my business. I know, like, at least in the books and movies and TV shows in a small town, everyone knows everybody and knows everyone's business. Yeah. I don't know if I would imagine it must have some truth to that, but I've never lived in, like, a small town like that to know.
That's, like, the one thing that would always, like, draw me away from us living in a small town. Was, like, I don't like the idea of everyone knowing everything. Because even, like, when we had, like, a small community, I feel like everyone always knew everything, and it was annoying. Like, I don't want that.
So, Main Street shopping or online shopping?
Main Street shopping. I hate online shopping.
I can never find what I want when I shop online.
No, just when you're online, you have to know what you're searching for.
Yes.
Type in just the right words and hope something like what you want pops up.
And you don't know what it looks and feels like or the exact size. Like, I know you can they give you measurements and stuff, but it's not the same as seeing it in person and feeling it for yourself.
Yeah, and I find, like, when I'm shopping online, so many of the images you can tell have been altered. They have, like, they're photoshopped, and with some things, it's so obvious.
And it's really misleading.
And I'm like, if I can tell that it's been, like, super edited, I'm not going to even attempt to buy that.
Because you don't know what you're going to end up with?
Yeah. Like, I don't trust it. I want to shop on, like, in the stores. I want to feel what I'm buying.
But it's so hard to, like, find things in the stores for a lot of things because they only have them online.
I know, it's so dumb.
It's really dumb.
Local diner or chain restaurant?
Well, these days I can't eat anything at anywhere, I would prefer, I think, a local diner. Diner food's so, like, nostalgic.
I know, I love the idea of a local diner. And, like, chain restaurants, I like knowing that, like, you can get what you want anywhere.
Right, because they have multiple locations.
But there's something special about the local diner.
Yeah. Can't beat diner food. So, what about a Christmas tree lighting or a hayride?
Christmas tree lighting.
I've never been to one.
Neither have I, but, like,
I like
love
the idea of it. I've been on hayrides. Yeah. Not really my cup of tea.
No, I like the idea of a hayride, but they're so bumpy and they hurt my back.
Yes, and they always stink. And then you get hay in your butt.
I know, you can't get the hay off you.
No.
Just no thanks. Small town newspaper or social media gossip?
I don't really like either, but I guess the small town newspaper?
I think I would take the social media gossip.
I don't know. Like, are we talking to, like, read or to, like, be featured on, or...
Open for interpretation.
Right, so I guess that would determine my answer, really.
Oh, like, who... I guess if you were going to be, like, gossiped about the small-town newspaper, because who reads the newspaper?
Right.
But, like, to stay in the loop, I would prefer the social media gossip.
I can see that.
But, like, if I have to be featured in one, the newspaper, because no one's gonna read it, and I can not have my stuff. Like, I will still feel like I have some privacy.
Right. Privacy is important.
Very.
So one of my favorite small-town romance series is the Maple Falls series by Harper Graham. So this series has a book for each of the seasons, which is so much fun.
These books are so cute, like the covers.
I know. I'm obsessed with them. So the first one in the series is the Cinnamon Spice Inn,
which takes place in fall.
Then you have the Spiced Cocoa Cafe,
which is winter.
And then you have the Cherry Crush Flower Shop,
which is spring.
And then you have the Hot Honey Hideaway,
which is summer.
Which is the one I haven't read yet. Because I don't have a copy yet.
I haven't read any books in this series, but I do really want to.
I know you'll love them.
I'm sure I will.
Did it make you get the first one?
I think I bought it at the local used bookstore.
I think you did too. So you
Who
have
knows where it is on my shelf if I have it.
But I know you'll love it.
I'm sure I will.
So what is your favorite season?
My favorite season is summer. I love the warmer weather.
Fall is my favorite. I like how it's cool because it's not cold, but it's not like hot.
It's like the perfect in between.
It is, but I don't always appreciate how gloomy and like dreary it is.
No, I think fall is my second favorite season.
And I like when the leaves change colors. I don't know, it's just pretty.
It is very pretty.
For a very short period of time, but I love it.
And it's apple orchard season.
Yes. Who doesn't love going to the apple orchard?
I love the apple orchard. I love doing my apple cider.
So based on the titles, which book in the series are you most drawn to?
I think I'm most drawn to the Spiced Cocoa Cafe.
Uh-huh.
I love the winter, like, vibes when it comes to books.
Yeah. You'll love that one. It was really good. So the synopsis for the Cinnamon Spice Inn is, self-confessed coffee addict and food writer Madison has convinced herself that she belongs in New York City. But then she's called back home to her small town of Maple Falls to save her childhood home, the Cinnamon Spice Inn. She's not looking forward to seeing her ex, Zach, which is now a bearded handyman who knows exactly how to push her buttons. But she won't let anything distract her from the inn's relaunch, right? Zach is frustrated in more ways than one when his latest job brings him face to face with a girl who got away. He's already agreed to renovate the family's inn, and he's nothing if not a man of his word. But the last thing he wants to do is work side by side with that stubborn, infuriatingly fine, totally gorgeous redhead. Sparks fly as they prepare for the big Halloween opening. Will Madison save the Cinnamon Spice Inn and have a second chance at love? Or will it all go up in flames?
Someone sounds so cute.
I know. So this one is a exes to lovers, opposite attract, second chance, forced proximity, and it also has a touch of mystery.
Nice.
I really think you'll like it, especially because there's mystery tied in, which is like one of your favorite things.
It sounds like everything I would love. So out of these tropes, which is your favorite and which is your least favorite?
I think my favorite is forced proximity. I always love the scenarios that like the authors come up with for these for that trope. I think they're always, I don't know, intriguing and fun. I think my least favorite is probably Second Chance. And probably like the exes to lovers too, because it's kind of the same as a second chance.
Yeah. So I completely agree. Forced proximity is for sure my favorite out of these. Although I have been really enjoying the opposites attract trope lately. And my least favorite is for sure the second chances. The only time I've ever really liked second chance is when it was just like a missed opportunity and they weren't exes.
Right.
And I think I'm coming to terms with the fact that I just don't believe in second chances.
But I think sometimes I enjoy it when it's like they were childhood sweethearts or something, and then they, drifted ways for years, and then they find their way back to each other. Sometimes that can be like an endearing storyline.
Hit or miss.
But I don't really believe it, and like it when it's like, something bad happened or they were wronged and then they forgive them and go back. That's what I don't really like.
Yeah. No.
So it really just depends on the storyline.
Yeah, but there's very few second chances that I feel like I've loved.
Mm-hmm.
But this one does intrigue me, so I do actually want to give it a try.
So this series is supposedly comparable to the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which I haven't read.
I absolutely love the Dream Harbor series, which is the Pumpkin Spice Cafe.
I have the first book, but I haven't had a chance to read it yet.
I think you will enjoy it. And so many books have been compared to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've read 4 of the books in that series so far.
Like, I'm curious to give it a read to see how it compares to this series.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. The only thing that you might not love is you're not reading it as the character, because you're a narrator.
Interesting. I feel like I don't encounter that often.
Yeah. And I know, like, that's the one thing that tends to, like, you like being the character.
Yeah, I love being the character when I read the book. I am the character.
I know, right? I am the character, too. Which, like, even when, like, you have a narrator telling the story, you can still, like, imagine yourself as the character, but it's not as easy.
Mm-hmm. So it might be one of those ones where it takes me a little bit to get into.
Yeah. And then you'll be sucked in and loving the character.
Well, I hope I can get sucked in.
So the tropes for Pumpkin Spice Cafe, it's grumpy sunshine, opposites attract, small town, obviously, found family, as well as like the cozy fall vibes.
It sounds like everything I love. I love grumpy sunshine.
I know, me too. It's my favorite.
It's like literally my favorite trope.
Found family as well.
Yes. I should love it.
Mm-hmm, you should.
I love the vibes that it gives off. And the covers are cute with that series, too. So if you had to have a role in a small town, what role would you hope to have?
Like, I think I would want to maybe own a bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be really cool. Or maybe just be an author. To be an author and just hang out, like, at home or at the local cafe and the local bookstore.
Right. I think I also like the idea of being a bookstore owner. Or, like, having a cat rescue.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Or, like, an antique shop. Or maybe, like, somehow you could combine all 3 things. That would be perfect. I don't know how that would work, but...
You could have, like, a bookstore cat cafe.
Yeah. With, like, random odd vintage trinkets mixed in. I don't know.
You could have, like, an upstairs attic full of, like, antique store.
Because, like, all 3 of those things are, like, me.
And then her brother would own, like, a bakery or something.
Yes, he could sell cupcakes and cookies and things out of there. Yes. Fresh loaves of bread, all the stuff. It'll be perfect.
Oh, he's so good at baking. Like, that would be perfect.
Mm-hmm. And he loves cats as well.
Yes.
And he's recently started reading a lot. So, see? We all have the same hobbies now.
This book encompasses the cozy fall Gilmore Girls vibe. With books like this, how do you think the author is able to capture that energy and atmosphere?
I think it's through the way things are described and through the characters they create.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like in a small town, you always think of, like, a vast variety of characters. And there's always, like, a quirkiness to it. And I feel that's what I think when I think of small town. You think of all the different people that are in there making up this, like, family vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Descriptions, especially, like, for me, capturing the setting. Mm-hmm. But also creating memorable and relatable characters as well as, like, dialogue.
Right, because with, I think, small town, especially with books, it's like you want to fall in love with it. And the characters are what make you do that.
Yeah, for sure.
So another series we love with a small town feel is the Curvy Girl series by Kelsie Stelting.
And this is a series of sweet romances with no spice.
So this one takes place in Garland, Maine, where it's Christmas all year round. And each book follows a different couple from the town.
So the first book is Santa Loves Curvy Girls,
which has a forced proximity trope.
The second book is A Curvy Carol,
which also has forced proximity and it has reverse grumpy sunshine.
A Curvy Wonderland,
which is another grumpy sunshine.
Curvy and Bright,
which is an opposites attract storyline.
And Curvy All the Way,
which is a brother's best friend.
I've read the first 3 books in this series, and they were all really cute and left me smiling.
I know, I need you to borrow the other 2. So I'm obsessed with this whole Christmas all year round concept. It sounds so fun, but I think it would get pretty old pretty fast.
I don't know.
Because we live near Frankenmuth, where it's Christmas all year round.
Yes, they have Bronners.
Yes, because they have Bronners and stuff. And I feel like I would get annoyed, but I love being able to go there any time of the year and have it be Christmas. Yes. So, like, being able to, like, travel a little ways to visit it anytime I want is great, but I don't know that I would want to live in that.
I don't know that I'd mind. I don't think I'd mind living there.
I don't know. How do you know?
You don't.
So the synopsis for the first book is, everyone knows that if you want Christmas wish to come true, you go to Garland, Maine, and make a wish as the star is placed on top of the tree in Cider Center. And this year, I made an impossible wish that all of my friends and I would fall in love before the holiday was over. The only problem? No guy at school has ever even looked my way long enough to be interested in me. Now I'm worried that this might be my first Christmas wish that won't come true, until I start working in Santa's workshop. And Santa? He's not a pudgy, hairy old man. He's a hottie in a red suit with captivating blue eyes, a stunning sense of humor, and a smile that makes me melt like a snowman in March. Unfortunately, the other Garland tradition is that no one can know Santa's true identity. I'm falling for him, but if he tells me who he really is, he'll break the most sacred tradition in Garland. And without knowing him, this relationship will never be more than a winter fling. How can my wish come true when I'll never even know who Santa really is?
I love this one.
I know, it was so cute. It was such a feel-good little, like, story.
It was.
And they're all really short, so they're, like, just fun, quick reads.
Yeah. Would you like to live in a town that was stuck in a specific holiday mode all year, like Christmas or, like, Halloween or something?
I really don't think so. I really do think I would get tired of it. I'm not sure I'd want to see people dress up as, like, skeletons all year round.
It could be fun. I don't know.
But I guess if you were, like, used to it and you didn't know any other way, then it wouldn't matter. Like, you know?
Yeah. Like, Christmas is my favorite holiday, so I think I would love Christmas all year round. As long as it's not, like, permanently winter, because I hate the cold.
Yes, but I do appreciate, like, the Christmas tunes and the decorations and things. But I'm also, like, excited. I always get excited every year, and I set up Christmas pretty early, and I, like, leave it up. But I also get excited to put it away because everything feels cluttered. So I feel like I would imagine I would feel the same way if it was, like, Christmas everywhere all the time. I'd be like, oh, we just need to, like, clean up. And then you don't get to experience any other seasons or, or holidays.
I love the Christmas lights and the decorations. And, like, going to see Christmas lights everywhere.
But you wouldn't feel that way if you were constantly surrounded by it all the time.
Oh, maybe I would. Maybe I would still drive around to look at Christmas lights. I don't know.
Does anyone that's listening, live somewhere where it's a certain holiday all year round? Do you get tired of it? We'd love to know.
Yeah, but I could see myself wanting change every once in a while. But I think overall, I'd probably be okay with it.
So another small town romance book is The Inn on Harmony Island by Anne-Marie Meyer.
And this is book 1 in the Sweet Tea and a Southern Gentleman series.
So the synopsis for this one is, it's the moment that Harmony Island has been waiting for. The reading of Charlotte Kane's will. After I returned to my small town 6 months ago to attend my estranged grandmother's funeral, I'd swore I'd never go back. That is until my grandmother's lawyer calls me up. If I don't return to Harmony Island and fulfill my grandmother's stipulations, the generationally owned family inn will be turned over to the state and sold off to the highest bidder. My grandmother's rival and mother to the man who broke my heart, Missy Willis. I'm not sure I'm strong enough to return home, but I also know I can't let Missy Willis win. So I pack up my belongings and head to North Carolina. I'm determined to stay distant, living in the small cottage next to the inn, and keep my head down. But in a small town where everyone knows your name, that becomes difficult. Soon my past catches up to me, and I'm faced with the history that I've buried for so long. Just when I reach my breaking point, Miles, the single dad living at the inn, swoops into my life to rescue me. He was a protector of my childhood, my enemy in my teenage years, and now I'm not so sure. Especially when his love for his daughter is contagious, or the way he looks at me when he doesn't know I see him. I'm so confused and I want to run away like I did in the past, but I can't. Luckily, I find a friend in Abigail, the local bookstore owner. She's one of the only residents who doesn't know about my past and seems to be looking for the same thing I am, a place to belong.
That sounds good. I don't think I've heard of this one before.
No, if you saw my copy, then you'd be like, oh yeah.
Gotcha.
If you saw some of the merch I have for it, you would also be like, oh yeah. like a Hallmark movie.
Okay.
So you have the next door neighbor trope.
The single dad trope.
The unrequited love.
Returning home.
He falls first.
Protective hero.
And friends to enemies to lovers.
That's a good list of tropes.
I know. I think you could really like it.
Mm. So in this book, romance is between two ex-step siblings. How do you feel about that dynamic? And does it bother you at all?
I will be honest, I was a little thrown off by it at first because I hadn't read that scenario before. But I'm not sure how I feel about it still even now that I've read it. Because, like, on one hand, they aren't related anymore.
Yeah.
But they were at one point.
But not by blood.
I know, but still, like, and then you have the mentality that you're siblings for so long and then suddenly you're not. I don't know how you go
about that.
Yeah, and, like, how you all of a sudden you don't feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine viewing someone as my brother forever and then suddenly they're not my brother legally. I can't imagine. I'm like, oh, well, now I can have the hots for him. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine my mind going there.
Right.
Because they'd still be like my brother in my mind.
I've never read a book with that dynamic, but, like, I'm thinking I don't know that I would like it. And, like, I get that they're not blood related, but at the same time, my mindset would be, like, once a brother, always a brother.
Right, because it's, like, the whole concept of found family. Like, just because they're not your, like, blood relatives, they're still your family.
Like, if you thought of them as a brother at one point, I would think that you'd continue to link them as a brother.
Right.
Like, forever. But maybe that's not the case. Maybe.
I don't know. Never been in such a situation, but I enjoyed reading about it. I was just kind of questioning it, like, in my mind, like, how, because, again, when I'm reading a book, I am the main character, and I was, like, having a hard time visualizing myself feeling that way.
Yeah.
But I still really liked it.
So, if you moved away from home and swore you'd never return, would you, if you were needed for something, or would something have to be in it for you?
I think it would depend on why I left in the first place.
Same.
Because if it was something, like, traumatic that caused me to leave, I might need, like, an incentive to bring me back.
Yeah. Yeah, like, the reason for leaving would definitely play a factor in my decision, but I think if I was needed, and if it was something that I felt like I could actually help with, I feel like I would have to come back, at least temporarily.
It would really just depend. I'm pretty good at setting boundaries, though, and I can be pretty stubborn about those boundaries I set. So if I really didn't want to go, I don't think you could guilt me into going.
I don't know. I'm stubborn, but I also know that I put the right person with the right, like, reasoning, I would cave.
But I also feel like if, like, you and our sibling really needed me, even if something traumatic happened, then that would, and we were still, like, had a good relationship and everything. I obviously I would not want to, but I would. Yeah. But if there wasn't, like, a situation like that, then I'd be like, no.
I would come. I'd be grumpy about it, but I would come.
So what are some of your favorite tropes to see in romance stories?
Grumpy Sunshine is my all-time favorite.
I know, it is mine too.
And then I've been enjoying the opposites attract trope lately. And then forced proximity, only one bed, only one cottage, only one horse, only one something.
Right. I know. That's one of my favorites as well, along with enemies to lovers.
I do like enemies to lovers.
But I don't know why I like enemies to lovers.
I can't say that enemies to lovers is necessarily my favorite, but I do usually enjoy it. And,
like, when I, like, logically think about it, I'm like, but why do I like enemies to lovers?
You wouldn't like it in real life.
Exactly. In real life, I don't think that would be a thing, but for some reason, it works perfect in the stories I love to read.
Yeah, like, I enjoy it, like, every time, but I can't say that enemies to lovers is a favorite.
And I, too, love the forced proximity when it happens to have, like, the one bed and all those micro-tropes in there. Because I don't know why, again, they're trapped together, usually there's tension and all that. I just eat it up.
Yes, every time. So what is your least favorite trope?
Usually second chance and miscommunication.
Second chance is also one of mine. And then love triangles.
Oh, I don't like those very much either.
Like, they drive me nuts. Like, I some of my favorite books have love triangles, so I can look past it.
Right.
But my goodness, just pick a guy and move on.
I know. I find myself often literally rolling my eyes as I'm reading those situations.
Like, and I don't usually pick a side. I'm like, I don't care who you pick. Just pick one. That's all I ask.
I know. What was I reading the other day? Oh, West of Wicked I was reading. And Dorothy couldn't decide between who she left behind and the Scarecrow character. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Rolling my eyes. I had to put it down and pick something up for a while every once in a while because I was just like, it was too much.
The number of times that I've, like, rolled my eyes when it comes to love triangles.
So another small town series that I absolutely ate up was the Oakwood Bay series by Ellie K. Wilde.
And the series has a lot of popular romance tropes in each of the books in the series.
Yes. So I love the entire series, and I wish there were more in it. There's 3 books. So the first one is Only in Your Dreams. The second one is Only Between Us. And the third one is If You Only Knew.
I've only read the first book so far, and I absolutely loved it.
That was my favorite one.
Although I will say it was a bit spicier than I like my romances.
It was pretty spicy. But it was so good.
It was. Like, it had me smiling and laughing the whole time.
Yes.
I feel like I may have rolled my eyes a couple times at the characters, and I didn't care.
It was so good. And you get the same vibes in the other books, but it's not, I don't know. I just love the first one the most.
Yeah, that one's definitely a little spicier.
So book 1, Only in Your Dreams, is between a college football coach and the one that got away.
And the tropes for this one are second chance romance, forced proximity, fake dating, small town romance, grumpy sunshine, the brother's best friend, and it's an open door romance.
It was so good.
It was really good.
I think just hearing all those tropes, doesn't it make you want to read it all over again?
Yeah. It is a really good, like, mix of tropes.
So the second book, Only Between Us, is between a former pro football star who agrees to fake date the fan favorite ex of another high-profile NFL player.
And this one has fake dating, one bed, he falls first, dual point of view, and dislike to love.
I mean, what's not to love about those ones, too? And then the third book, If You Only Knew, is between a childhood friends who agreed to matchmake each other while fighting the fact that they were soulmates all along.
And this one has friends to lovers, found family, forced proximity, small town, competitive surfer/trainer, and only one bed.
And this was the first time I had ever read anything that had, like, a surfer.
I don't know that I've read anything with a surfer. Unless you count, was it by the book where the Beast gave her a surfing lesson?
Oh, yeah.
But, like, he wasn't a surfer.
And it wasn't, like, a main part of the storyline either.
That was the only one that comes to mind that even had, like, anything to do with surfing.
There may have been one other one I read, to be honest, and I've been thinking about it. It was, like, it had a blue cover, and Emma something.
Oh, yeah, I know it.
Yeah, she's holding a surfboard, and...
Yeah, that was a Pride and Prejudice retelling.
Yes, it was. Or was it Emma retelling?
Emily Harding?
Yes, but I don't remember the title.
I can...
If we think of it, we'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, we'll put it on the screen. Moving on.
So I also found it interesting that the books in the series that I love most had the tropes that I hate most in them.
Yes.
So clearly it doesn't always matter if they're done right.
Yeah, I think any trope can be okay if it's done well. Because even all of my favorite and least favorite tropes, there's ones that I like and there's ones that I don't like. There are always exceptions. And, like, I was surprised by how much I enjoyed Only in Your Dreams since they had the second chance romance. And, like, so there's exceptions for every trope.
Yes. So do you have a favorite holiday that you like to see as a theme in books?
I do love the Christmas theme. I haven't read, like, many with other holidays as the focus, though.
Well, I have. Christmas is my favorite, but I've read others with a highlight, so let's talk about some of them. So a small town with a holiday theme that I enjoyed was Cupid Shot by Serena Pier. And this is a spicy small town novella in the High Five series. And it is book 2, but it didn't matter that I hadn't read the first one. I was able to jump right in, and it made perfect sense. And it happens often when you buy used books. Like, I don't always find the first book, and that's what happened with this one. I found it at the used bookstore. It sounded really cute. I was like, oh, this will be a perfect palette cleanser between some of my bigger reads. And so I just took a chance, read it, and I was like, oh, I didn't need book one.
I know, when it comes to, like, shopping used, you never know what you're gonna, like, sometimes you can only find books 2 or 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. And, like, if you see it, you have to grab it because you won't find that deal again.
Right.
And then you either have to hoard it until you find the previous books, or just dive in and hope for the best.
And you know what always happens to me? Because I have that mentality, too. I'll buy book 2 and book 3, hoard them for years, and finally be like, I've never come across the first books I needed. I'm never going to get to read this. Yep. I finally part with it. And then what do you find the next time you go to the bookstore?
The book you were missing.
Exactly. And then I'm like, oh, no!
It happens all the time.
All the time. Like, what was I trying to collect? The James Patterson, it's that one witch series.
Oh, The Witch and the Wizard.
Yes. I had like 5 books in that series, and I was missing like some of the middle ones.
We had both read the first book.
Yes, and I read the second one. Mm-hmm. I had the 4th one, but I needed the 3rd one. Never found it. Held on to it for years. I'm like, I'm never going to get to finish this series. I'm never going to find it. Yeah. Finally got rid of it. And then I see it everywhere.
Yep. Every store after that
store
had multiple copies.
I'm like, why?
I even found it in a free library.
Yes. I'm like, I literally looked for this book for years, used, and I could not find it. And here it is, everywhere. Now that I don't have it.
And that is why you don't give up.
I'm running out of space, though. I have to do that every once in a while to make space for new books. And it's just a never-ending battle.
I guess the big question is, do you have regrets?
Of course I have regrets. Of course I do. So back to the book. This one is between a former high school grads that end up reconnecting later.
And the tropes for this one are second chance, secret pining, banter, secret admirer, and the Valentine's Day theme.
Which is so fun. So, how would you react if you found out that you had a secret admirer?
I'm really not sure. I don't think I would like the secret aspect of it. Like, isn't that kind of creepy?
Yeah, I feel like in that situation, I would probably just ignore it, to be honest.
Yeah, and like, besides, if you aren't brave enough to tell me that you like me, and you feel the need to keep it a secret, then nothing's going to happen with it. I'd probably be curious, but ultimately, I think I'd ignore.
Right, I would just feel weird, and so I would just ignore the situation. Now, if it became, like, persistent and creeped me out a lot, then I would probably obviously have to confront it or deal with it in some way. But otherwise, I'd be like, out of sight, out of mind.
I don't know, I feel like the whole, like, secret admirer aspect is kind of creepy.
It is when you really think about it. It goes into the same, like, category as, like, stalker romances.
Yeah, so I guess it would depend on, like, what level of secret admirer we're talking about and, like, how they go about it. Mm-hmm. But my brain goes, like, I'm going creepy.
Like, I guess sending flowers or leaving a nice note and then that is fine. Mm-hmm. But if you're sending, like, dead flowers or, like, creepy messages or it's really excessive or...
Then you've got stalkers.
Exactly. So I don't know where that line crosses, but I also enjoy stalker romances, so...
Do you think that theme stories can be over the top? What makes you think a holiday themed story makes it successful?
I think you have to find the right balance between the holiday vibes and all of, like, the personal small town touches. Mm-hmm. So it isn't too much and on the verge of, like, making me roll my eyes.
Yeah.
Like, this book was a good example of it done being well because it was such a short read and it could have easily been too much, but it wasn't. Mm-hmm. And the Cupid's Crush event at the local bar was what made it the Valentine's Day theme. So it wasn't, like, the entire book. It wasn't like the town was themed Valentine's Day or something. Okay. It was just an event that was taking place.
So it was pretty toned down in comparison to the Curvy series.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, like, I feel like themes can be a bit much, but I do agree that it's all about balance. Mm-hmm. It's like, just because it has the theme doesn't mean that every aspect of the book has to revolve around it.
Right.
But sometimes the over-the-top vibes is just what you need.
I know, because sometimes it makes it fun. It really just, like, as a mood reader, it just depends on my mood, how much I'm going to enjoy whatever I'm reading.
And it also comes down to how it's written, as well as what characters are, like, in that world.
It's just got to be the perfect everything at the right moment for me to, like, really just eat it up. So there was another small town Valentine's Day themed book that I read recently, and it was My Phony Valentine by Courtney Walsh,
which is book 1 in the Holidays with Heart series.
So the synopsis for this one is: a chance meeting, a hunky hockey player, a fake romance. Hardly an ordinary day in the life of Poppy Hart. My days usually consist of agonizing over my failed restaurant, worrying about my mountain of debt, and nursing my broken heart. Everything changes when I bump into a man in a coffee shop and claim him as my new boyfriend. To my absolute horror, he turns out to be the hockey's most renowned bad boy, Dallas Burke. To my absolute delight, he goes along with my story. When his no-nonsense manager and meddling grandmother jump in the picture, they see a win-win situation for my failing restaurant and Dallas's less than stellar reputation. A full-fledged fake romance complete with a contract negotiations, pretend dates, and phony PDA. But as I get to know the real Dallas Burke, who is not the man in the press says he is, it becomes clear that if this isn't real, someone better tell that to my heart.
That one sounds cute.
I know you're going to love it. I know you will.
So this one has themes focusing on emotional depth, character vulnerability, and overcoming past traumas.
So this one also has fake dating. It's a sports romance. It has dual point of view. You have mutual pining, and it's not spicy.
Oh, I love it when they're not spicy.
I know. Like, there wasn't any spice in it at all. So I like how there was the rumor mill and text threads that were also sprinkled throughout. Because you know how I'm a sucker for, like, mixed media. So anytime there's, like, letters or text messages or, like, anything like that sprinkled in the book, I'm going to love it.
I know. I wish more books had the mixed media element. Like, even just seeing the little text bubbles makes my day.
It makes it easier for me to visualize and, like, get into the story, too. Like, I don't like reading the text messages when they're, like, just in normal text in the paragraph. It can also be confusing.
I don't know. I feel like books need to go, like, make those extra steps to make them the bubbles and make it more, like, immersive. But maybe that's just us.
It probably is.
So if you lived in a town where everyone knows everything, what would you want to be known for?
I think it could go one of two ways. Either no one would know me at all because I would keep to myself, or I'd be known for, like, all the bookish things, or maybe even, like, the crazy cat lady.
Yeah, I think I would be known for bookish stuff. Either that, or everyone would just know about everything that I've went through in my life, and I would just be known for that horrible stuff. Which hopefully would not be the case. Let's just keep my life to my books and just be done. So this was one of those stories that felt like reading a Hallmark movie. What qualities do you think give a book that feel?
Pretty much anything with, like, feel-good vibes and a happily ever after.
Yeah, I think a book gets the Hallmark feel if they have, like, the cozy feel-good story. And, of course, they have to have a happily ever after.
Of course. I always get upset when books don't, to be honest.
I don't mind it when books don't have the happy ending. But, like, when it comes to the romances, they need it.
Right, because sometimes, like, they will mislead you and you think that's where it's going, and then it will just suddenly turn and I'll just be devastated. I'm like, what was the point of reading this if they don't get a happily ever after?
I'm more okay with, like, the not happy endings when it comes to, like, mysteries and thrillers.
Right, but in, like,
fantasies.
a romance, I'm expecting everything to work out in the end.
Yeah, same. So another one that we read and really enjoyed was Love's a Witch by Tricia O'Malley.
Which is book 1 in the Scottish Charms series. This one was such a blast.
It was. I loved it.
I know, it was so good. So the synopsis is, she's hexed, he's vexed. And for Scotland's most magical small town, their feud might be the spell disaster. Sloane McGregor swore she'd never return to Briarhaven, but when her 25th birthday looming, the day witches come into their magic. Her grandmother summons her and her sisters back for one tiny task: break the centuries-old curse haunting their bloodline. Knox Douglas, Briarhaven's grumpy mayor, has worked tirelessly to make this town a haven for magical folk. The last thing he needs is a cursed McGregor wreaking havoc. It doesn't matter, he once crushed on her. For the sake of Briarhaven, Sloane has to go. But magic has other plans in Briarhaven. Love really is a witch.
This one had me smiling.
I know, it was so cute.
So this one has themes of navigating unexpected powers and handling family legacies. And the tropes of this one takes place in a small town.
And you have talking magical pets.
Yes, and enemies to lovers.
It was really good.
It was.
This was like a really fun and magical read, and I love the setting and everything that came along with a small town, and the feud going on between the two main characters was really interesting.
Yes.
I loved the dynamic that gave them. And the banter between them was like, had me smiling so much.
Yes. And like, I love a small town setting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's one of my favorites. And this one actually made me I've bought like a few of her books now, because they all have like Scottish settings.
You recently got like a whole
I bought a whole series at the used bookstore. And then like the magical pets aspect, I loved it.
It just makes me want a magical pet.
Yes. Can you
imagine if my cats could like talk and have magic?
Oh my gosh, your cats would be trouble.
They already are. I can't even imagine.
No, just we would never be able to relax.
I love, like, there's so many good series that have magical pets. Like, there's the Magical Cat series by Sophie Kelly.
Yep.
And that one is so fun because the cats have abilities.
I feel like I read the first book in that series.
I made you read it because it was so fun. I still haven't I have like 10 books in the series and I've only read like the first 2. But I have them and they're so fun.
So how does the setting of a picturesque snowy town, Briarhaven, contrast with the chaos of the curse the sisters face? And how does the setting affect the mood?
I think it makes it feel more lighthearted and less heavy. It offers cozy vibes even though they're up against something that's less than ideal.
Yeah, I would agree. How does the author balance the romantic elements of this book with magical, comedic, or chaotic plot points?
I think it has a good mix of all the elements, which gives it like a really good balance. And it has a little bit of drama, heartfelt moments, whimsy, and romance.
Yeah. Like, it was balanced really well. And sometimes when books combine magic and romance, one element will overpower the other. And, like, that was not the case together. They played together so well.
Right, because sometimes it's like, oh, this is such a good whimsical read, but I wish it had more romance. Or, oh, there was so much romance, I wish there was, like, more magic tied in. And, like, with this one, it was just perfect. And, again, this one just made me smile so much. Well, thank you for tuning in to Bookish Sisters Podcast. Please make sure to listen to our next episode. Happy reading.